Lesson 5.1, Solving Inequalities by Addition and Subtraction. So our objective today is to solve inequalities by adding, subtracting, and also graphing them on a number line. Alright, so we are dealing with one variable inequalities. We solve them by doing the opposite of what you see. You add or subtract. There's going to be a couple of rules that we have to abide by for this to work. And the first one is this right here. The variable must be on the left. You must put the variable on the left for any of this to work. If it doesn't start out that way, you can go ahead and switch it around right at the beginning, or you can go ahead and solve it and switch it around at the end. But no matter what, when you give your final answer and when you graph, the variable must come first. Alright, now, that being said, here are the rules to graphing. If you have just a greater than or less than, right here, a greater than or less than, you have an open circle on the number. That means the number is just the boundary. It's things are greater than that number or things are less than that number, but that number is not included. That's why it is an open circle. Now, when you have greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, then it is a closed circle on the number line. It could also be equal to that amount, so that number's not just a boundary, it's also a possible solution. So with the extra bar below it, you fill in the circle. Okay? If it's just greater than or less than, it's an open circle. Otherwise, you fill it in. Alright, also, if your variable is on the left, then you shade the direction the symbol is pointing. Alright, so here's what I mean. If it is greater than or equal to, that point right here, that point at the end, it's pointing right. So you shade the line to the right. On less than and less than or equal to, it is pointing left. So you shade the line to the left. You shade the way the point is facing. Alright, again, all of this is true if the variable is on the left, and that's where it should be. The variable has to come on the left. Alright, also, we're going to solve one, and I'm going to show you how you're supposed to answer these. It's a little different than what we're used to, but it's proper set notation, and that's the way we're going to answer them. So make sure you do proper set notation. Alright, x minus 3 is greater than or equal to 7. Basically, we're solving one-step equations, except they're inequalities. And you do the opposite of what's there, so if it's x minus 3, then that just means you're going to add 3 to both sides. And yes, you're going to show this simple one step. This is part of your work that must be there. And x is greater than or equal to 4. So then what you will do, yeah, it's because I'm thinking and doing two things at the same time. Sorry, I'm just checking to see if you're paying attention. X greater than or equal to 10. We're not subtracting, we're adding 10. So on your number line, yours are going to be on your workbook page, but if you were doing one on paper, then you could just put the number 10 on your number line. Since it is greater than or equal to, then you fill in the circle. Since it's pointing right or talking about greater than, you shade to the right. Make sure you include that arrow. And then for set notation, this is how you're going to answer. You're going to say the set of x, or whatever variable it uses, the set of x. This bar says such that, and then you write the answer. X is greater than or equal to 10. This is formal set notation. It is saying it's the set of all x's such that the x's are greater than or equal to 10. So again, that is how you should write your answer. Okay? That's how you should write your answer. Don't just stop with this. That's not correct. This is what you want to write. The set of x such that x is greater than or equal to 10. And also your graph. All right. If you're given a problem like the next one, r plus negative 6 is less than 4. We've already talked about this double sign thing. We never deal with double signs. There's no reason to. It just makes life more complicated. Remember that if the signs are different, you just make it one big minus, and if the signs are the same, it's just one big plus. So this problem, you would actually make r minus 6 less than 4, and then we're solving again, adding 6, and r is less than 10. So on your number line, you would have your 10. Since it's r less than 10, it is an open circle. It's pointing left, so you shade left, including the arrow. Okay, you write your answer in set notation. It is the set of r. Notice it's r because there's r in the inequality, such that r is less than 10. Okay, just to review, if that problem would have been written like this at the beginning, then you could have just changed it around at the beginning or changed it around at the end. Like you could have done this, r minus 6. Make sure that you have to turn the whole thing around and then proceed from there. Never finish with your variable anywhere but on the left. Okay, are there any questions about solving inequalities by addition and subtraction? Yes, Josh. How would you get it if it was on the right? Okay, so like if it was like this one right here, then just go ahead and turn it around at the beginning. Or if you want to go ahead and solve it that way and then just turn it around at the end for your final answer. You could do it either way. Either way. Anybody else?